We are happy to have a all-star panel today to be our panel speaker to share the latest InsurTech deployment and post-pandemic outlook with us for this monthly FinTech Association event. First of all, before we start the panel, I would like to introduce our panel speaker today. It's our honor to have Fred from Bowtie. He is the CEO and co-founder of the company. And then we also have Arthur. Arthur Lee is from 1 Degree. He is also the CEO of 1 Degree Hong Kong. And we also have Winnie here. We actually just have a discussion about Winnie's role. She is now the CEO of OVO Insurance, and also she is the chief executive of Asia Insurance as well. So maybe I should just give the time to our panel speaker to give a little bit more about an introduction of their business as well as themselves as well. So I would like to have Arthur to introduce first.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Hi, I'm Arthur Lee. I'm the chief executive of 1 Degree Hong Kong. 1 Degree Hong Kong, we obtained the general insurance license in April of last year. So we are coming up next month, 1 year anniversary of the company. After we launch, we soon have our first product, pet insurance, launching to the market. And so far, the pet insurance is growing steadily as planned. And in fact, after we have pet insurance launched in April, we also have several products launched in the past 11 months or so. We had a solution for the delivery service launched in August in response to the market need of all the e-commerce activity due to the lockdown, the online shopping. So there is a lot of delivery service need, and also the food delivery as well. So that is our second product. And then we also have a cyber insurance targeting SME. We will have, so far we have soft launched the product, but then we will have more promotion and a press release is coming up next week or so. And then a few weeks ago, we also launched our second B2C product, which is fire insurance, which is gaining the momentum in the past couple of weeks. Besides insurance, in fact, we also do some technology project, but yeah, we can share a little bit more later on if there is some time. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, thanks, Arthur. So well, it's really a good opportunity for us to hear the experience and introduction of the virtual insurer here. So apart from general insurance, we also have Fred here from Bowtie. Bowtie actually is focusing on life, so I would like to have Fred to introduce Bowtie and himself a little bit more as well.
Sure. Hi, thanks, Michelle, for having us and being the moderators. My name is Fred. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO of Bowtie. We are a virtual life insurance company. So we are one of the virtual insurer out there. Our focus is on the life side. Even though we have a life license, we really focus on health. We launched in 2019. So we're celebrating the 2nd year anniversary pretty soon. And the first product we launched is actually a voluntary health insurance scheme. That is actually our first hero product. And as part of that, we have been launching a number of supplementary products like cancer, critical illness, term life, which is actually selling quite well. And our target segment, the young customers, young family who prefer to do their own research online. And we have seen that a lot of customers are actually buying not just for themselves, but also for their parents, for the dependents, and for the kids. Not just that we focus on the individual, we also launched last Q3 the group medical insurance to the SME. We are also one of the SME. We felt that the SME is quite underserved in Hong Kong. There's about 300,000 SME, and we want to be the first group medical products. And as part of the mission, we want to change how people assess healthcare. So we have been doing that, very focused in investing into the healthcare experience. So beside the insurance product, we have been launching a number of health and wellness program. So the FTAHK will help you to save some money from outpatients, and also launching a FTAHK Vision program that is basically eye examinations, where we have been selling that to some of the corporates. So we are backed by Sun Life. We are independent, but Sun Life is our Series A investors, where they put in 30 million for us to set up the company. And we are still in Hong Kong, very focused in Hong Kong, looking at different plans to expand to other countries, but they're still in the planning stage.
I see. I also noticed that you are actually sitting at your cafe, the latest launch Bowtie Cafe as well. Well, in the later part of the dialogue, probably I would also ask you a little bit about the marketing about a virtual insurer, because before I joined my current role in Navy Bank, actually I have been with FWD. So digital insurance distribution is always a challenge. Part of it actually is the channel constraint, and then the second one is on how to break through the customer interaction and customer engagement. Actually, insurance is a people business, so how to break through the obstacle and how to actually tighten the interaction with customers is always a topic. But then I would leave it to the later part of our discussion today for how in virtual insurer actually is doing marketing actually to closing the gap and facilitate more online purchasing. So I would want to also have Winnie to introduce herself a little bit, as well as overall insurance as well.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. I just want to say that we are AVO, the short form of avocado. So you can tell from the logo. So we focus mainly on B2C as well as B2B2C. And you mentioned that we are also one of the virtual general insurance companies in Hong Kong. We are going to celebrate probably 1.5 years milestone pretty soon. We focus mainly on launching some simple, easy, and very convenient insurance, simple personal insurance products to our customers that can integrate into people's daily lives. Some examples include e-wallet. We use e-wallet every day now, and we launched e-wallet insurance. We also launched shoe insurance, COVID-19 protection, vaccine insurance for children, and some other health-related products as well. So I think almost half or more than half of our products are new in Hong Kong, or even new, first of its kind in the world or in the region. So we believe that there is a lot of penetration opportunities in terms of these personal protections, especially when it's very close to their daily lives. And we try to make the user experience as simple and straightforward as possible. So hopefully the younger generation would find it a lot more user-friendly, a lot more convenient to get the protection that they need. As for our focus, we primarily focus on the Hong Kong market, but we are also planning to look at some other markets in the Greater Bay Area, as well as in the Southeast Asia. Okay.
I see. Seems all the guests here actually have their business taking care of both B2C and B2B2C as well. Maybe later in the later part we can discuss more. But just before we go into that part of the discussion, I would also just pull you guys back to our topic today about InsurTech deployment. So I would really like to learn from you guys about your view in InsurTech deployment, your current business focus and reliance on insurance. What particular area actually in your company actually relying on InsurTech most? Operation, distribution, claim processing, or actually 100% of all the operation actually would be very much focusing on that? Because I know some of the traditional insurer actually have some hesitation about the technology deployment, not because about the cause, of course, but that's about how to change the culture, how to change the technology platform from scratch. So why the traditional insurer actually having some of the obstacles to overcome for InsurTech deployment, I would really like to understand more about your view as a virtual insurer, about your business, and your view on InsurTech deployment as well. So how about we need to start share first for this question.
Sure, yes. I think we can say that mostly relying on InsurTech and technology on our virtual insurance business. We have a very resilient infrastructure on a microservice, cloud API to enable much faster product launch within days. We have a record of launching a new product within 5 days. So I think that's possible for a virtual insurance environment. And we also utilize the power of data to drive product innovation, product design, enhance the overall customer experience. And the multidimensional data analytics to help us enhance the insurance business process, as well as the decision-making and revenue model. For the online customer service, such as chatbot and live chat, etc., would be a lot more emphasized after COVID-19 because of the change of people's behavior. A lot of people are working from home. So yeah, these are our directions, and we will be launching a lot more in the coming months. Yeah.
I see. Good to learn that. So how about Fred, from your end? Can you also share a little bit more about your view on InsurTech and your roadmap of InsurTech deployment as well?
Sure. Well, as a virtual insurer, I would say we're pretty much 100% on using technologies. There's no legacy systems. Everything is built. It's basically rebuilding the entire insurance company using the new technologies. Everything is on the cloud. We are more than just a website. So some people might think as a virtual insurer, it's not just front end, right? There's all the back end, all the claim systems. It's really about building the entire foundation using the modern technologies. So from application to underwriting to claims, you can just do it online. To give you one example, for our online health underwritings, it's actually not a simplified underwritings. You can actually go through a full reflexive underwritings. So for the first 1,000 applications, a lot of people are testing our online application when we first launch. But for the first 1,000 application, we only have one human underwriters in the back office to handle that. So I would say that's actually highly automated, so that we can actually afford handle so many applications with just very little resources. But one thing that we found is hard to replace is the customer service, because we're so focused on health, and people do have questions about the health conditions, how the plan works, how the claim works. So we do have a very professional, highly trained CS team to handle all the inquiries. They can call us, they can use the live chat to talk to us. I think we have handled more than 30,000 inquiries in the past 2 years. And so we, beside the online platform where most of the people actually prefer self-serve, it's very important that we do have that's there standby in case they have any questions. Some of the reference in China, even like Tencent, when they do the health online insurance, they still relied on the human CS to handle all the inquiries. We try to use technology to provide to automate, to streamline all the questions, to provide automated support recommendations. But we try to use tech to build a central system to have a single point of view of the customers. As Winnie mentioned, like, not just the application and claim, right? Marketing, the product cycle is a lot shorter. In the old days, it might take 6 to 8 months for insurance company to launch a new product. But for us, especially last year, we have been launching a new product every 8 weeks. So we have been adding all these simple products to supplement the supplementary period. So I would say for us, we trying to build everything on top of using modern technologies, except for the CS part where we really focus on the human touch, and that's important that we still have the human support. Everything is really supported and enabled by the data technology.
I see. So is it because of the human touch that Bowtie actually launched a physical cafe to facilitate some more human touch and brand interaction with your customers? Sorry, I can't help to wait till the later part, but I just want to ask.
Yeah, so we recently launched a coffee shop. It's in Wan Chai. It's very close to PV3. Our office is actually on the second floor. I guess to give you some reason why we do this is during COVID, we're thinking where we should move to, and we saw that we're not using our office as much. Maybe we should have a more creative way to build a new studio for the staff. And so we found this place in Wan Chai where we have 2 floors. The second floor, we use it for a studio. We call it Virtual First, where our staff can actually come in. They can work from home, but they can come in for meetings. But the first floor, we thought, okay, is there a better way to make use of that place? From a branding perspective, because we're virtual, we thought it's a good idea to have a physical presence in such a dominant locations to build more brand presence. At the same time, we can have, it's more soft marketing. We don't call it Bowtie Coffee. We call it Bow Coffee. And then there's some soft marketing inside a coffee shop. Some people can, when they try to search for Bow Coffee, they couldn't find it. They can only find Bowtie. So I think it's a very non-traditional way to do branding. So I think I would say it's really for the branding. But in case if customer really want to walk in and ask for support, we do have a CS team sitting on the second floor who can just come downstairs and talk to them.
I see, but no one would proactively come to sell me insurance when I actually try to enjoy the coffee.
We don't. We're only selling food and coffee there, and so far I would say the business is doing quite well. It's a very popular location. I was joking that we probably reached break even earlier than Bowtie.
Oh wow! so actually everything is run by yourself, or you outsource it to another operator for the cafe?
We actually do everything ourselves. To run the entire coffee shop ourselves. We do have some support from some consultancy at the beginning, but right now we do everything ourselves.
I see. Well, good to learn that. Actually, selling coffee definitely is much more simple than selling insurance, but I didn't expect that selling coffee's margin actually is that high.
Yeah.
Probably may not be as high as selling insurance then. Because in FWD, we used to have some non-insurance business as well. If you guys have attention, well, FWD used to have, not used to have, they still have the restaurant business in 1881. But then the brand actually is not that bold in the exposure because we still call it House 1881. So for an insurer, in particular, a virtual insurer to actually open up a cafe business actually is quite new to industry. Even probably virtual bank may also take reference from your successful case here, whether or not we need to consider to open something physical for through a leafy cafe or leafy ice cream shop, whatever, to enhance the human touch as well. So now I would like to have Arthur to share about 1degree's view on InsurTech development and deployment in the business, because in particular for Arthur, I know that 1degree, apart from the insurance business in Hong Kong, they also have some tech-related venture and business outside Hong Kong as well. So Arthur, I pass the time to you.
Thank you. I think as a virtual insurer, technology is definitely very important. Fred addressed it in all the insurance operation. We try to leverage on technology to improve efficiency and everything. I would like to take a different angle to address this technology question. When we consider technology, we look at it from the customer's perspective. First of all, before we got the license, we did evaluate the insurance system in the market, and we look at quite a few, but finally we decided to build our own. It is a very heavy investment. I can share a little bit later. But when we consider technology and when we decide to build our own system, the consideration is that we want to make sure the customer experience is the most important element of the business. Because as Michelle, you also mentioned, digital selling insurance without face-to-face, online digital is very difficult. There's a lot to consider, and customer experiences, I think, is one of the most important. So when we consider customer experience, there are quite a few areas. First is before purchase, there are customer inquiry. During the purchase flow, and after purchase, the policy service and the claim. So in all this area, we try to make sure that the customer needs properly addressed and addressed in a transparent and efficient manner. Say, for example, in our pet insurance, after we launch, actually, we modify the product almost every 2 months. Modify in a few ways, the product feature, the purchase flow. Every time we make a modification, we are addressing some of the customer issues that we have seen. So far, each of these modification was quite successful. We improved the conversion rate by every modification. But in order to make it feasible, our own system is very important, because if we are not building our own system, the insurance system, we will not be able to do that modification in such a efficient manner. That's one. Second is for claim processing, say for example, is another customer experience that we want to achieve is. We want to make sure when the customer file a claim, they do the least work they need. In our case, our customer just need to take a photo of the receipt and send to us, filling very, very little information. Then we will process everything behind the scene. So far, our pet insurance claim, majority, 90% of the claim, we can pay the claim, settle the claim within 2 days. So these are all enabled by our own system. But as I mentioned in the beginning of this is a very heavy investment in technology. So not only our own company, One Degree Hong Kong, is using this technology system. We are also trying to let other insurers. So far, we have quite a few projects helping other insurers adopt technology, adopt our system to enable their digital journey. And quite a few projects in Taiwan and China is in progress at the moment.
I see. So basically, you extend the service to start the platform as a service or as a solution business as well.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to share a little bit more, like Bowtie, the cafe, actually be able to get ROI earlier than the insurance business, and probably the technology part actually. Would it be the same case?
I think technology is a total different investment. Yeah, technology you invest to share a little bit on numbers. To build our system, we hire almost 100 engineers
wow.
Across Hong Kong and Taiwan. So this is a huge investment, but yeah, I'm very confident our system. So far, I'm one of the users of the system, and so far I'm very satisfied with the functionality of the system, and I'm sure this will help other insurers in the market, in Asia, in other markets to go through the digitalization journey.
I see. So it is also a creative way actually to getting the money faster and bigger than purely rely on digital distribution of insurance, because we all know that actually general insurance is a very competitive business. The margin actually is not as good as life, so definitely business diversification and more innovative way on distribution and monetization strategy is required. And it's actually, I feel very impressive to learn that your system can be upgraded or improved so easily within just 2 weeks, or well, for product changes or enhancements. Because in my previous experience in an insurer, as well as my current experience with a virtual bank, actually the system enhancement and product enhancement usually take a lot of time. Even for the promotion engine, we want to run the campaign, add something up there. Actually, usually we have to wait for a long queue for the IT to help us to do the enhancement. So probably we should have a dialogue later to see whether or not, other than digital insurance system, you also have any function and system for banking as well.
Yeah, definitely we can. It sounds easy. Of course, there are lots of people working behind the scene. Yeah.
I see.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah. Thanks for your sharing. Well, now from my own experience working in my previous role as head of alternative distribution, I actually learned a lot about the difficulty and the challenge about pure digital insurance distribution. So I would also like to hear your comment here, apart from what we have mentioned about the importance of human touch. What else you think actually is the challenge for InsurTech deployment and the challenge for digital, or in particular for a pure digital distribution? What's your view on this, and how you think would be an effective way to overcome those foreseeable obstacle and challenge? So for this question, maybe I have Fred to address the question first.
Sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure distribution is a challenge. Just like any virtual insurer, the customer acquisition will be the number one priority for us. And I guess the situation I have seen is quite different in Hong Kong. When I look at China, right? If you look at the statistic, the life and health channels, you see that for the virtual insurer, when I say virtual, I mean like the online only insurer like Zhong'an and so on. You see that 80% of the sales is actually from the third-party channels. It's from the affiliate marketing. There's a lot of like Taobao and a lot of website apps that can redirect traffic to them. I would say the situation is quite different in Hong Kong because we don't have so many licensed authorized like channels. I would say like the referral sales from all these third parties is actually less than 5% for us. So we're having a hard time, and it's actually not easy. Have been focusing more on building our own channels and on the paid channels. I guess the good thing is having your own channels, the margin is better. Because sometimes if you're over relying on the third-party channels, you might get the volume, but then the margin is pretty bad, and you don't have the direct touch point with the customers because you are sort of behind another platform. So I would say for us, building our own channel is more sustainable, but it takes time. So in such a highly competitive environment like Hong Kong, where you see ads like everywhere, it requires a lot more effort to stand out. So as you can see, we try very hard to do much better to aim higher in the branding and user experience. Well, you can tell we try to do a lot of things that is very different from the traditional side, from picking a bow tie pink logo, from having Johnson to be the face of the company, and also trying to make the experience a lot simpler. And also, as we mentioned, like launching cafe, we try and do a lot of different creative campaign to really stand out. So I would say in Hong Kong, it probably takes time before the e-commerce and also all these like third-party channels to mature and eventually able to give us more referral business. But until then, we have to rely on our own pay and own channels to really scale up. But I guess the good news is in the past 2 years, we have seen the fintech market is maturing a lot. There's like 8 virtual banks and 3 virtual insurers. Lots of more people are changing the behaviors, because at the end, what we're doing right now is really changing behaviors. The market is out there. There's a lot of agents, a lot of products out there. The demand is there, but can we convince people that our service, our platform is good enough so they should choose a virtual insurer instead of a traditional channel? So I would say, hopefully, all these fintech trends, people using online banking, using on e-wallet and lending, hopefully more people will be switching to virtual insurer. Because right now, if you look at the life and health segments, less than 1% of the customers are actually buying insurance policy online or directly, which means there is still 99% of the customers still buying from traditional agency, from traditional banks. But if you look at any survey, right, you will see that at least like 50%, 60% people actually prefer online, at least for a simple product. So we really think the demand is there, but it's really, can we improve our platform? Can we actually build our own channels and also work with more and more third-party channels to have more different traffics coming to the website. So I would say this is an uphill battle, but we are working very hard to develop that.
I see. And probably another battle is with the regulator, because according to my previous experience, I mean, to revamp and to renovate the whole new simple sales flows online actually is a challenge, because there is always the regulatory requirement to ask the insurer to ask a lot of questions to ensure the customer understand a lot of detail of the insurance product before they can finish the purchase. But then as a customer, actually filling up all those lengthy form online actually is a challenge. So for that particular part, are there any plan or there is any solution which FTAHK would actually introduce some breakthrough to simplify the process for us as a consumer actually to actually more easily get through all the troubles to get some simple medical or health related insurance online?
Well, I'm pretty sure William Alfred can talk about the regulation challenge. I mean, at the end, we want to protect the customers. At the same time, the reality is the tech is moving faster than the regulations. And right now, when we want to work with partners that involve insurance regulated activities, they do have to get a license. And I guess right now, the only solution we have is just be super transparent and have regular dialogue with IA, the insurance authorities. We have been presenting different case studies to work with different telco company, to work with different websites where they have a community or a lot of customer base. I would say a lot of cases where we work with them is like the Hong Kong first, so it takes time. But hopefully, once we build up some of the first cases, when we expand to other companies or other partners, it will be a lot faster. And you're right that the regulations, we still have to adjust the points where all the paper privacy, all the customer protection is just whether it's there. But I guess the only way we can do it is just by keeping a regular dialogue, and hopefully that will speed up in the near future.
Thanks for the sharing that, because I as a customer, actually customer experience is very much important for me to consider whether or not I purchase my insurance online or actually I have my agent, and claim experience is another part. But before we go to the claim part, probably I would like to have offer this time to distribution for insurance product online. Probably the challenge is not as much as life insurance, I guess, because GI is much more simple. But offer, yes, I would like to have your sharing here.
I think in some way the regulatory requirement on some of the product is simpler than life in general insurance. But I would say many of the same difficulties and challenges as Fred just mentioned. with fighting an uphill battle, and unfortunately, the market in the past couple 1 year was make more people going online so that they can explore more and understand virtual bank and virtual insure more. And I would like to share a little bit from a different perspective is I think in terms of distribution, different product may have a different challenge and at the same time different opportunities. Say for example, when like 1degree we launched our first product as a niche product, we target a very easily defined community. So that helped us be more focused when we launch, and so far this worked out very well for us, and it was a very successful story to share. But on the other hand, like WeChat is a mass product. Definitely, it will be much more challenging how to target the mass market online digitally. So like I share, our second product is a logistic parcel delivery kind of product. So the way we try to reach our customer, there's no better way to work with the providers or the sponsors. So what I want to say is, different product, we need to explore the different ecosystem and work with the appropriate partner so that we can reach the end user most directly and most efficiently. And that's it. That take a lot of learning and trial. We are doing it all by trial and error, and we learn from the experience. So on our side, when we launch the product, we like purely online, social media, the kind of media channel. But now, in fact, we are going to some of the pet shops, physical pet shops and online pet shops. What I want to share is, even in traditional insurer also want to work with different partners, providers, ecosystem. But I think in the past, the challenges in traditional insurer that the underwriting, the application, sometimes is so complicated, the sponsor doesn't even want to try. But with virtual insurer, now we are really simplifying everything, making sure the customer can do it easily online. Then more and more sponsors are more willing to try working with us on telling customers about our products. I think that is one of the change we are making a difference in the market now.
I see. I guess the distribution partner actually appreciate the flexibility of an insurer to create some tailor-made product for their own industry and sector. Actually, that's also my experience, that it is the advantage of a virtual insurer to doing this, because they have a more flexible system, and also almost no channel conflict, and it would always be actually more flexible for an insurer to create something new to the market, which can actually tailor-made for a different distribution partner. As you recall my life in my previous company, a lot of discussion and dynamic actually focusing on how to justify the business, whether or not we should tailor-made something for a distribution partner versus selling the same traditional product where the agency falls. So there's always a dynamic and always some internal conflict to solve from the traditional insurer's point of view. So definitely that's something, I guess, should be the advantage of being a virtual insurer. in terms of focusing on alternative distribution development. So may I also have the sharing from Winnie on this part?
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. I fully agree with Fred and Arthur in terms of the time it takes for building the trust in virtual insurance companies. I think now people still don't fully understand what the benefits of buying insurance through virtual insurers. So it takes time to educate our customers, as well as educating our distribution partners. Some of the partners still have some concerns in terms of how to partner with virtual insurers. Of course, we say that we are highly flexible and we can tailor the solution to them. But then since insurance may still be new to them in terms of their business models, it takes time for them to understand how they can integrate our services and solutions in their product offering or service offering to their customers. If we want to partner with some partners in the B2B2C models. So it takes time on educating them. And when you mentioned about the GI products, which may be simpler than life products, I have to say that we can only manage to sell the simple general products online, because they have to be simple enough for customers to easily understand without having agents or brokers to explain to them. We have very complicated GI products that cannot be sold online, and normally an insurance company would carry several hundred GI products, and some are highly complicated, and a lot of those are tailor-made manuscript forms tailor-made for our customers. So those are a lot more complicated, and it takes a much longer journey for them to be automated. So that's why you can see that most of the products that we can sell online at the GI side are the simplest one. Or we try to make the complicated GI products fragmented and simple enough to be sold online, so that customers can enjoy part of the protection and probably select the part that they really need. And this is also one of the objectives that we want to achieve. But you're right. So far we can only sell these simple ones online, and for the corporate products or commercial products, I think it takes a longer time, particularly on the fact that most of those are still sold and pushed through agents and brokers, and a lot of them require services, personal services and after-sales services on the claim side. And on the claim side, I think that's also another reason why, as virtual insurers, apart from allowing our customers to submit and arrange the claims online, we still have the responsibility of offering the offline solution, because they must be able to claim if they have a claim to submit. So we need to be able to cater for both online and offline support in terms of claim services.
True. Well, as a customer, I agree that a lot. Well, I recently come across to a situation that I want to terminate one of the insurance product I purchased before, but then I realized the process is not that easy, because I need to download the form, a paper form from the internet, and then I need to fill it all up. And then what I would need to do actually is not email back to the insurer, but then I have to sign on the form and then to send it back physically to their customer and operation office. So as a customer, actually is quite disappointing about the experience, because a lot of insurers nowadays talk about digitalized insurance. I can buy the insurance easily over the phone and then online, but then when I want to cancel the policy, actually the procedure actually is a little bit too much complicated, I guess.
I had a similar experience, Michelle. I also recently tried to cancel a policy, and that insurance company required me to explain why I canceled it. Which is a bit too much.
Yeah, I think actually it's an intent for the insurer actually to create more obstacles, so the customer to think through whether or not they still insist so much to terminate the policy. But as a customer, I think, well, even I cancel one of the policy, I still have a lot more potential to buy more from an insurer if actually I have a good feeling and interaction and experience with the insurer. So probably, well, this is a valuable comment from a customer point of view for the virtual insurer here, to actually simplify also some of the policy termination or change or adjustment through a purely digital process as well, if it is allowed by regulation in the field. So I would like to add one more question in terms of the alternative distribution issue here, whether or not there is any changes for the trend and the willingness of the potential partner to work with a virtual insurer in terms of insurance product distribution online before and after the COVID. Because before the COVID, actually, Fred also mentioned not a lot of the distribution partner actually is willing to consider to work with virtual insurer, because a lot of them I know, like Hong Kong TV More, they have a very large customer base. They all are very selective in terms of their insurer partner. They would actually tend to pick one with a big brand and more traditional insurer versus to select some more innovative and up and coming insurer. But I'm not quite sure whether or not after the COVID actually is much more popular and much more easy to engage with the distribution partner now. So Winnie, I'm not sure whether or not you would be able to share a little bit more about this.
Yeah, I share your view. Some of the partners are still quite conservative in terms of which partner that they want to choose. And to play safe, they may pick a big, well-established name. But then with COVID, I think it opens up a lot of people's thoughts in terms of the possibility of partnering with insurance companies, virtual insurance companies who are a lot more responsive, a lot more flexible, a lot more agile. So it depends on the partner that we're talking to. Some are still very conservative, but I can see that a lot of them are getting a lot more open-minded in partnering with us. Of course, we need to build the trust with them, and we need to have to be able to demonstrate some successful cases that they entrust their customer base with us. So I think that's something that we need to work closely with these partners and have some quick wins to be demonstrated to them.
I see. Thanks, Winnie. Because for this question, I believe I have offered to share his view and experience as well, being the insurer partner to introduce a lot of new form of insurance product for e-commerce platform. But for Fred, can you also share a little bit more about this part? Because I noticed you have quite a successful campaign before with Free Hong Kong, the telecom operator. So I'm not sure for this part, you have anything to add on about the distribution partner after the COVID. Would there be any plan or initiative for this part?
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry, is it a question to me or to Hopper?
Well, maybe to Fred first.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I think the COVID situation actually benefit us because as people they stay at home, they practice the social distancing. We can see that the search online, we see more people searching for health informations. We do have a blog that capture a lot of health COVID-related informations. So the traffic actually go up from 20,000 per month to like 2 million per month during the COVID period. So you can see that a lot of people are actually searching for similar informations. So the way we work with Free Hong Kong is it's very important that we stay relevant because the awareness of health is so high during the COVID. So as part of the value-added service from a telco like Free Hong Kong, so we provide this program called like Bold I Go, where they can choose these VAS, like the value-added service, which include a body check and also access to about 1,200 doctors where you can get a membership discount. So I would say that campaign is actually going pretty well. because during this kind of situation, people, when they go to telco, if they can choose a value-added service, they do want to pick something that's health related. So that one is a good example where we trying to leverage a company with a very strong brand and a huge customer database, and we purposely design different plan level within that value-added service. So when they buy that membership, is actually a non-insurance membership, but they can gradually upgrade into something that has a small insurance component within it. So that is actually a good example where we work with a telco company. And since then, we have been working with different vertical, different ecosystem. We don't just launch the same product. We're trying to tailor-made a little bit, trying to fit into that scenario. Because sometimes you don't just tuck in like a health insurance into every single scenario. Right? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So we're trying to be a bit more specific. It does take some time to build the trust with the ecosystem partner, but I would say now it's a lot easier after a few success case. They do see that it's not just we are being more flexible. Some of them actually think it's quite cool to partner with a virtual insurer. I think it's the same for virtual banks. Mm-hmm. They actually think it's an interesting and more cool partnership to partner with a tech firm. And another comment I want to make is it's true that some partner may choose to work with a more established player, but I would say we do have the advantage of providing a fully online experience. There are some cases where when a partner with a traditional insurer, because the experience is that it after you apply, it actually come down to the lead is being passed to the agents. So I would say the experience is quite broken, but for us, it's just being redirect to the website. You can enter the promo code, you can finish within 10 minutes. We're able to demonstrate that our sales are a lot higher than the other insurer when the experience is quite broken. So I think it takes time to prove that not just we're saying it's more, the experience is better. The application is actually much more than the other established players. So it takes some time to show that, but once they see the result, we see that they slowly allocating more resources and giving a lot more exposure and attention to us. So I think that's a good good news.
Yeah, thanks for the sharing. So offer anything to add on?
Yeah, my company 1degree was granted the license in April last year, which is in the middle of COVID. So I don't have any pre-COVID, post-COVID experience to share, but I can share a little bit. As I just mentioned, traditional insurer is also trying to do ecosystem, partnership, sponsor, marketing, everything. In my past experience with the traditional insurer, there are two barriers. Fred mentioned one thing. Some of the insurer actually, when you work with sponsor, you get a lead from the sponsor. Actually, they assign an agent to follow up. That is not a very good experience from the customer perspective and for the sponsor as well. Another is if the product, the underwriting, the application, the processing take a few weeks, that would not be a good experience for the member of the sponsor as well. So these are a barrier for sponsor marketing and partnership in traditional models. But now for virtual insurer, we simplify the product. We try to make the product easy to understand, understood by our customers. And the process of application underwriting is so slim now, so smooth, and sponsor can actually just pass on an internet link to the member. The member can complete everything online with the hassle. So all this is the concern of the sponsor, and I think from our perspective, we are really seeing the difference from some of our sponsors. And Michelle, you also mentioned our flexibility technology also make it our work with some of the sponsor much easier. So, say for example, when we work with the logistic providers, the major concern of our provider is that they have a very little touch point with the customers. How can we bundle our cover into their offer in a matter of just seconds of the interaction? I think that is cannot be done in the past in the traditional models. So technology and our change of the model does make a change, does improve this kind of sponsor marketing.
True. And I noticed from my previous experience that the technology readiness of the insurer as well as the distribution partner actually also be a potential obstacle about the digital distribution implementation. I'm not sure whether or not it is still an issue now, or actually being a virtual insurer, you would carefully select your distribution partner, basically focusing on those pretty much strong in their technology capability, infrastructure development, or actually you would have other technology assistance to facilitate your distribution partner for being the alternative distribution platform for your own company.
Okay. As a new company, we do not have a very selective criteria on our partners. We try to work with as many partners as possible. Try to explore all the opportunities. Even the not so tech savvy partners, we treat our partner as customer as well. Not only the policyholder as customer, but the partners are also our customers. So how do we make our partner customer experience as good as possible is also what our goal of success. So if I can make a traditional pet store understand our model and work with us, I think that is already a very successful implementation of technology in the traditional pet store. This is my view, and if I can do that, the pet store also has is a satisfied customer to one degree. Then I will treat it as a major success.
I see. Thanks for the sharing, Arthur. Actually, this is a lead-in question to my next question to all the panel guests here. Well, when we talk about the technology readiness of their partner, we do actually, for what Arthur mentioned earlier in the forum, that platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service could be one of the potential business model for virtual insurer as well. So I would really like to hear more sharing on this part, and all the panel guests here about your view about how actually you would consider this type of business model in your own company, or apart from this sort of IT infrastructure monetization model, are there any other potential business model which a virtual insurer should consider in order to shorten the time to get ROI? So offer any sharing for this part?
Okay, sure. Yeah, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we invest heavily on our system. So we also want to make sure our system can be used by other insurers in Hong Kong and in other markets where a few of these projects in progress already. So I look at it from differently in different markets. Say, for example, in China, in fact, I would say technology, InsurTech, in some area is even more advanced than in Hong Kong. Actually, we need to learn. And how we learn from China local player or local market and be participating in China is something we're trying to do. Of course, as a Hong Kong insurer, we don't have the license to do insurance selling or insurance product offering in China. But then we have to look at try to do it differently. We work with local insurer to collaborate on the technology side, or we work with the local insurer to pull together different ecosystem. This is one of the model we are trying to test in different markets. In, say for example, in Taiwan, Hong Kong is leading Taiwan in the development of FinTech, InsurTech, and in fact, in Taiwan, the regulator has talked with our founders about InsurTech development in Taiwan, and that's why Taiwan regulator in the past few weeks they start to have some InsurTech discussion news so in Taiwan we try to not only share our experience in Hong Kong with the Taiwan market, but also we try to demonstrate how technology can help a traditional insurer going digital. So there are some projects we are doing in Taiwan, and of course we are not doing these projects for charity. We also want to create commercial value out of this project in Taiwan. And there are similar examples in other markets as well, Southeast Asia, and as far as in Europe, some of the European countries is also going through digitalization process at the moment. So these are all different feasible model that I would say we will be testing.
I see. Thanks, Arthur, for the sharing. So Winnie and Fred, maybe Winnie first. Any supplement?
Yeah, I share Arthur's view. I think we also invest heavily in technology, and our team are mainly based in Hong Kong. Basically, our entire team are based in Hong Kong. Our tech team, most of our staff at Avo are tech colleagues, and we have a very diversified team. We're very lucky to have them with a very high staff and talent retention rate, even though they are young talent, normally with a higher staff turnover rate, but we are very lucky to be able to retain them. A lot of them from the very beginning when we started to plan for the license 2-3 years ago. So on the technology side, I think you asked about open API. Of course, that's definitely something that we've been deploying and help us to develop a lot more innovative products by service integration, and help us to reach a lot more customers in an efficient way, and accelerated our service development as well as offering. It also helps a lot in terms of improving the interoperability among the different players in the ecosystem. I think right now we also want to further enhance on the communication between the business as well as our tech team. As I said, most of our tech colleagues do not have any insurance knowledge and understanding. And our business people, of course, they have different mandates and different KPIs. And also business people generally, they are product development people, they have more understanding about the insurance products and the limitations on the products that we can develop. So internally, I think how we can ensure that there is an alignment among our different teams is also one of the key priorities in terms of successful deployment of these technology solutions, because very often different teams and different colleagues may have slightly different expectations.
I see. That's very true indeed. So Fred, may I have your sharing as well, in particular for this topic?
Sure. Yeah, we consider the technology deployment, but we are not doing that. I guess the angle we're thinking is we really want to focus on the health space. our goal is to become the top of mind health insurer in Hong Kong and Asia. And then we believe that it's a big enough market, and we think it's already, it can be a unicorn, it can be a very big company already. So our style is if we can really focus on doing health really well, not just in the insurance space, but also in the healthcare space by integrating the full end-to-end experience. That will be our focus, at least for the next 3 to 5 years. We do have some inbound opportunity to, can we actually work with other potentially partners or insurer in deploying technologies, but we felt we're still very early stage, so we wanted to be more focused. I guess it might be a question for the Alfred or Winnie, how do they balance the time? Because right now we felt that even by staying very focused on doing, because right now every time we look at the development cycle for the engineering team, we're always still behind, right?
Yeah.
We prioritize doing, supposed to updating, releasing another new version of the product again versus your partner in Taiwan or other countries. I feel like there's always a constant discussion. So right now we're trying to be very focused on serving our local customer very well. But I'm kind of curious, how do you allocate your time? How do you decide the priorities?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Fred. We have the same issue, and now every week we have to deal with prioritization and reprioritization, ensuring there's a common alignment and understanding among different teams, because very often they have different priorities, but then we need to ensure alignment. So every week we do a reprioritization, and some of the tasks may need to, some of the projects we have to prioritize at a later time. After all, we have very limited and very limited resources and very lean structure. So you're absolutely right. In terms of the time and resource limitation, we have to prioritize and reprioritize every week. That's a very practical issue that we have to deal with.
Yeah, to answer Fred, in fact, I mentioned a lot about technology, but in fact, it's not myself doing all these things. I have two very capable partners, Alvin and Alex. They are taking care of everything outside Hong Kong and technology. I just focus on the insurance operation in Hong Kong. So the 3 A's of 1 Degree, Alex, Alvin, and Arthur, and myself. So we separate, we share the responsibilities.
That's good.
That's really good. I envy you.
Yeah, there should be a lot for all of us to learn, because as a virtual bank, we also actually share a same challenge about the IT resources, about the prioritization and reprioritization of those new product and feature changes every week. And still, we have a very big IT team, but every now and then when we have some new initiative in terms of our marketing campaign, which involve in the app enhancement, actually we have a very strong debate about the resources allocation. So that's definitely, I mean, the IT resources and the prioritization is definitely a topic for the virtual financial service provider like us to learn and see how things can streamline to be more cost efficient. So now I have all of my questions asked to the 3 panel speaker, and I see William from the 4 actually raised some question previously. Let me just ask on behalf. So the first question is, will any of your company be diversifying into wealth management product? So William is really interested in wealth management product, but wealth management in insurance, well, I guess he is talking about investment related. And I see he has a question to me as well, but I will let the panel speaker to share first. I guess what wealth management here is saying investment related, insurance product.
Yeah, there's a question for Fred.
Yes, yeah, we can, yeah, we have the life license, we can do saving product, but right now the focus is really on the pure protections. I guess part of the reason is we don't see a particular competitive edge if we do saving products. As we set up the company, the mission is really trying to address the protection gap. And actually, I felt that Hong Kong has a very interesting problem is even though we have so many insurance, so many agents, people still have a significant protection gap because we buy so many saving products as opposed to buying protection products. I think there's a lot of education that need to be done. And especially younger generations, we realize that, let's say for the finance segment that we do target a lot, they do want to do their own saving product. They do want to do their own investment and then they just buy pure protection product from us. So I would say we wanted to be very focused in doing pure protection. So we don't have any plan in doing savings, at least in the near future.
I see. I guess, well, I hope William is satisfied with the answer because we only have one guest be able to answer this life insurance related product. And I see William also asking me about Leafy be expanding into wealth, but then I just want to say this is not in the scope of the InsurTech forum we are going to discuss tonight. So a quick answer here, Leafy as a virtual bank, definitely we would expand into a more variety of banking service and product in the future. And wealth actually is on our roadmap. Well, back to another question William asked earlier is about the panel's observation about incumbent insurer responding and recent activity to counterfight the business of virtual insurer. So, well, since I'm no longer with the insurance company, I guess this question are back to our three panel speaker here. Although William specifically mentioned FTAHK, but I'm not in a good position to answer on behalf. So, offer any comment about this?
Okay. I think the traditional insurers, I think we are observing and seeing more and more traditional insurers expanding to digital. They are not, I don't think they will replace their traditional channel totally with digital, but they will expand. I think most of the market practitioners are seeing the trend of digital insurance and they will expand. But yeah, I don't think in the near future, foreseeable future, digital will totally replace the traditional channel. So they will coexist.
I see. Any other supplement by Fred or Winnie?
Yeah, I think it takes time as we are building more trust with the partners on our virtual insurance model. I think there is a lot of digital transformation effort with the traditional channels as well. So going forward, I think that they still will exist. I don't think they will suddenly change and fire all the agents, as William mentioned. But then, unless they significantly change their business model, like Blue, so I think that's possible. But then it really depends on individual companies' decision on whether they're retaining the agents or not. Yeah, but then I think in the Hong Kong market, it's a small market dominated by local agents and brokers. I think there's still a lot of value for agents and brokers to exist, particularly on service intensive products as well as solutions. So I think they will still require agents and brokers to provide the services for some of the complicated products. So it really depends on individual companies' decisions and their product offering.
Okay, Fred, any further supplement?
Well, interested, but lots of uncertainty on the regulation and policy is very policy driven, and so I would say the market is promising, but there's no concrete timelines. I guess we are a bit passive in waiting for more clarity in terms of what kind of business we can do there, like the licensing and so on. But certainly this is one of the questions that the investor will ask the most. So once the regulation or the policy is ready, it's certainly a market that we will invest in and look into.
I see. Thanks. So time is running quick. I see one last question from Wendy on the floor. So it's about the virtual insurer's intention to move to Greater Bay Area. Well, Fred, any feedback on this about your plan to enter into Greater Bay Area, if there is any?
Sorry, is it a question for me or for Winnie?
I guess it's for all panelists, but maybe we can start with you first.
Yeah, I think Fred just answered the GBA questions. Maybe I can also supplement a little bit in view of the time. Yeah, I think the insurance authority, the regulator, is doing a lot to help the Hong Kong insurers to go into Greater Bay Area. I think as one of the member of the insurance industry, one degree we will also participate and support whatever the regulator is pushing as the GBA strategy. Also, from our commercial and business consideration, this is an opportunity too great to omit. Hong Kong, we have 7 million population, and Greater Bay Area is 10 times more. So that is an opportunity every insurer and maybe banks are also watching. So we will definitely participate, but it all depends on the regulators, and Hong Kong and China regulators are making the progress on this expansion.
True. Actually, that's a very true situation that virtual bank are also actually eyeing on Greater Bay, given the huge potential there. But of course, both of us, both virtual insurer and virtual bank, actually is highly regulated. So we are all actually waiting for the green light from the regulator about how and when we can actually start the business in the Greater Bay Area. For this, they would just ask whether or not Winnie would have some more sharing or supplement for this point.
Yeah, I'm sure all of us are waiting for policies to support our Greater Bay Area expansion plans, and all insurers, as you said, and virtual banks as well are waiting for this. But then at the same time, I think it really depends on how we position for it, because it poses potential opportunities as well as threats. Because right now, I'm sure you know that the entrance barrier is really high for entering the China market. And in the past 3-4 years, they haven't issued a single insurance license in the past 3-4 years. And the regulator, CBIRC in China, is going through the process of regulating and reviewing the overall performance from the corporate governance perspective or the performance of all the insurers in China. So I think it's a totally different environment. And how are we going to enter that market? Will we be able to survive? And how are we going to be able to benefit from the Greater Bay Area market? And that's something that we need to think through very carefully. There are potential opportunities for sure, but how are we going to capitalize on the opportunity is something that will require a lot of thoughts and planning.
I see. Well, I see we are actually going towards the end of this section. Well, thanks a lot for all the panel speaker here and also our audience. I hope you guys enjoy the debate and the dialogue, and also our audience enjoy the sharing from our guest speaker. So I look forward for another section in the future for a more in-depth sharing about the virtual insurance and InsurTech deployment later on in our next or coming gathering as well. Let me just thanks all for staying late to live with us. I hope you guys had enjoyed the time with us. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Let's just call
Bye-bye.
bye here. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.